Fantastic. Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome back to my Kerbal Space Program Let's Play. Now, as you can see here, we have Valentina in the new Jet Mark 1. Yeah, well, that's pretty much it, really. So we have Valentina in Jet Mark 1. What she's doing is she's taking a nice long trip, and she's in the middle of that trip right now. Oh, the moon. God, the moon looks huge from here. Hey, that's the crater with our probe in it. I didn't know you could see that. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. The Jet Mark 1 is doing its cruising thing. Let's come out here now and have a look at its journey on the surface of Kerbal. And you can see, if we zoom in, up here is the space center where we started, and we're now in the middle of the ocean, and over here we've got some temperature scans to do. So we're going to do those temperature scans when I can. Right then, here we go. We're coming on to our final approach with the objectives. They're actually approaching quite quickly, so we need to think about landing, really, more than anything else. We are dropping in altitude, but we are still going 300 meters per second. Yeah, that's the closest zoom we can do, so we're getting very close now. As you can see here, we're going very fast. Very fast indeed. So I think it's time that we... Well, it's a bit difficult, but I think we ought to reduce the throttle on the engines a little bit. Hopefully, yeah, our surface speed is slowing significantly. We don't need it to slow quite that much yet. Maybe I overestimated it. We do need to come down, but I don't want to come down too quickly. And also, we seem to have banked over and moving away from our destination. But that's okay. That's fine. We'll work our way there. We don't want to be thousands and thousands of meters in the sky, but again, we don't want to be really close to the ground until we get closer to our objective. There we go. Come on. This craft is absolutely terrible, I have to admit. Flying it is so unstable. I mean, I've even got it in fine controls and it jerks around like nobody's business. Still a little way to go. I bet they're probably over there on that flat area. Well, I'm quite glad that this area is mainly flat anyway. So we're losing altitude and we're losing speed as we come in. Yep, still got a little way to go, so I'll see you when we're right on top of it, shall I? Okay, we're pretty close. I'm going to come in for a landing and get ready, so let's throttle that engine down even more and actually start coming in towards the ground. You can see we've only used up half the fuel. Oh, we're coming in, it's too steep. There we are. Actually, let's get that throttle off. Brakes on. There we are. We're quite close to the ground, but we're still quite fast. So maybe we can do a bit of banking and bring ourselves towards the objective. That's probably a good idea. Let's do that. Let's bleed off some speed and correct our direction. Perfect. We're just gliding through now. Oh, good. I didn't mean to turn that harshly. Still, fine controls on. We're now, the sun has set from our angle here. Oh, we're coming in. This is it. Oh, not quite. Not quite. Okay, here we go. They're on this hill. It's not a great place to do it. Okay. Oh! Okay, that's going to make everything rather interesting. We only have... Valentina, after an hour of flying, I'm going to have to bring another flipping plane over now. That was a terrible land. This plane is actually just terrible. It's a terrible design. The wheels are poorly. The balance is terrible. Oh. Okay then. Here we go. Once again. We're 3 kilometers up at 300 meters per second, and I'm coming in towards the objectives. So I need to really cut that throttle off, and we need to start gliding down to our destination. Now, if I remember correctly, the ground is about 500 meters above sea level, so we're not actually 3 kilometers up. We've got a little way to go yet, but I'd rather get things nice and stable. Come in for a good glide. There. Let's just bring a little bit of throttle on. We're just slowing down a little bit too much at the moment. Yeah. I'm on the closest zoom now, so you can't get any closer to these things. I think that's going to do now. Let's just bring ourselves down a little bit more. Actually, that's quite a steep income there, and it's quite difficult to bring it up. I'm not using fine controls anymore. I want to be able to be very reactive on the landing. So here we go. We're about 600 meters up. It's difficult for me to tell. There's no, it's night. There's no shadow. But we are slowing down quite considerably. I don't want to be going along the ground very fast. I think that's what our problem was last time. We destroyed things too easily with our speed. We want to be going slower than this, so we want to drop gently down. Brakes are already at maximum. This area seems pretty flat. There we are. We must be getting pretty close to the ground now. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so we're just going to hover above the ground until we can bleed off just a little more speed. I don't really want to be going any faster than 50 meters a second. More so, we need to level the craft out. Oh, got a hill, got a hill, got a hill. It's alright, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine. Just keeping it steady, keeping it even. And there we go, we're below 20 meters per second. We are down. Oh, for goodness sake, brilliant. Right, now we need to find these. Oh, we've passed one. We've passed one. We're going to activate navigation to that. Hang on a minute. Activate navigation. I'm going to turn around and head to... Oh, hang on a minute. Let's just... there's no solar power, is there, here? So we've got to be careful. We might have to wait for the sun to rise. Okay, never mind. We are rolling around quite nicely now, though. Now that we're doing it at lower speeds, we're coping okay. Smallest amount of throttle. In fact, let's turn. Let's turn a load of those engines off. We've only got 2 engines now. So if I give us a small amount of thrust, it will keep us going. That's the plan. There we go. Nice constant speed, a little bit of thrust. Now, how far away are we? It's difficult to tell. I've got to do some driving around by the looks of it. I need to go quicker than that. We're actually going to go up this hill as well. I don't really like driving around in the jet. It's not really the best thing to do. Especially since we're going up this hill. Hopefully we will get into the area soon, though. I don't want to have to really drop off this hill. Here we go. We're entering the zone. Right. Log temperature. Keep the data. Right. 1 done. Next. This one. Okay, well that's 1 done. I'm just going to drive myself over to the other 2, and I will see you when we've done that. Okay, that was pretty easy. It didn't take long, so we're just going to fly to the final point now. We're not far away from it. Just trying to keep these two jets moving. Come on. There we go. Giving them a bit of extra throttle to get up this hill. We don't want to go too quick though. We don't want to go too quick. We are heading perfectly in the right direction. And here we are. We are now entering that area. Last temperature scan. Let's just get the temperature sensor. There we go. Log temperature. Keep that data. And then that's it, Valentina. We can recover you and see how we're getting on. Well, we got the experiments recovered. We probably could have done something a little bit more than that, but never mind. We got money back. How much money did we get? 63% of value of the plane. That's not too bad. And the crew, of course, Valentina is back. If we look at the money that we received for that contract, 34,000 for the main one, 555, and brilliant. We now have a good chunk of money, and I'm quite excited about this because it means we can move on to a new phase of exploration. One of those things no, I didn't mean to click that. One of those things I really want to do is I want to be able to upgrade the astronaut complex. This will mean that we can perform EVAs and get even more science and plant flags, though flags aren't that important. So we're going to do that. Ta-da! There we are. Have we got a pool yet? Do we get a pond? I don't know. We haven't got a pond. R&D is also up at the moment, but I also want to do... at the minute we've got orbits on map. I want patched conics so that we can see and actually plot courses and stuff. That's going to help us a lot more in the future. So we're going to upgrade that as well. Oh, fantastic. So now we have the administration building upgraded, we have the VAB upgraded, we have the launch pad. I think we got R&D upgraded by one, have we? No. So we need to upgrade R&D. We're not going to bother with the space plane hangar and the runway yet because we can cheat and kind of take them off the runway like we just did now. So there we are. That's another one done, and we still have 179,000 in the bank. Now, one thing I did do is I picked up this contract. Rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit of Kerbal. Now, according to the objectives here, you have to have 2 in orbit within visual range of each other and kill their relative velocity. You don't actually have to have them docked, so that's quite cool. And it says, and I'm not quite sure here, but couldn't you just like disconnect, kind of separate 2 vessels and then bring them near each other? I don't know. Well, anyway, we've got some science to do now. What we're going to do, we're going to head over to R&D. We've got some science points to spend. We've got 116 science points to spend. And out of all these different things that we can have heavy rocketry, which could be quite cool. That skipper engine would be nice. We can have propulsion systems, fuel systems, advanced construction, which would be really nice to have these airstream protective shells. Aerodynamics would be good for making a half-decent aeroplane. Landing, of course, would be good to have landing wheels and proper escape systems and stuff, maybe. We've got RCS and control there. We've got a hitchhiker storage can and a barometer, which actually gives science. So that might be something that we want to consider. In fact, let's do it. Let's have this one. We want max science. Okay, so we're having that, and we're going to purchase all the parts. Brilliant. Now, next thing we need to do is we need to go into space and rendezvous 2 vessels, but let's be a little bit more cunning about it than just throwing something up there just to rendezvous. And let's see what else we can do. Hello there. Right, we've still got these temperature scans which we're ignoring. Minma's temperature scans, satellite tester Rockermax landed at Kerbal. Yep, we'll have that. May as well. That'll do for now. Right, let's go test that engine. Okay, there's the Rockermax decoupler, and tested. Done. Contract complete. It's not a lot, but it's something for something quick and easy. Okay, so now, vehicles in space. Oh, that'll be fine for an orbit, won't it? That'll be fine for an orbit. So, this is our... It's really a science craft, isn't it? Science Rocket Mark 1. And we're going to... Mark 1. Let's do it properly. Yep, we're going to send that up. It's a proby one. There's no people in it. But let's get one up there now, and we'll see if we can rendezvous the next one soon. So, launch clamps is probably a good idea. Launch clamps. We only want 2 of them. There we go. Okay, let's save and go. Okay, so here we are on the launch pad. Let's check the staging. So we've got the side boosters. Going full throttle, the side boosters, which is an interesting combination. I didn't think about that, to be honest. Main engine. We're not going to do. We're going to bring the main engine online at the same time. SAS on. Okay, let's see how this goes. Up, up and away. No control tower to give us a countdown. Let's go. Okay. Launch appears to be fine. And separation, that's fine too. Fantastic. Okay, so we are now in space, and I think it's about time. Yeah, it's time that I thrust sideways to try and bring ourselves an orbit. And you can see now we now have maneuver nodes. I put a maneuver node in just to give myself an idea of the timing, but to be honest, it didn't really help that much. So let's get rid of it. There we go. We're just going to keep this Apophis in front of us. It seems to be doing pretty well at that at the moment. We are max power though. We are losing fuel in that last tank by the looks of it. Yeah, very quickly running out. Very, very quickly. And gone. But now we switch from this one. So let's just eject that. And engage this engine. This engine's much more efficient at these sorts of altitudes. And we're pushing a lighter craft. So, oh my goodness, stop. What's our situation? Oh, we're not quite there yet. Okay, that's fine. We need to maybe 80 meters might be a good idea. I don't know. Let's just time accelerate a little bit until we're here. There we go. Now, it's too bad we haven't got the probe core, which allows us to snap to our prograde and retrograde, because that would be quite useful about now. Come on, SAS. Actually do your job. Have we passed? We have passed that mark. Okay. Let's just push that out. And 72.85. That'll do for the first craft. Okay. Now what we're going to do now is I'm going to make this orbit a little bit more regular. So we're going to make it about 75. Let's do that now. It seems a very nice equatorial orbit. So can I now warp here? Oh, look at this. I can use the warp here function. Look at it warp. Yeah, go little buddy, wherever you are, science vehicle thing. There we go. Right, so we need to get this down. So I'm going to bring us on our retrograde marker, and we need to bring it down to 75. Come on, 70. Yeah, that'll do. That's 75. This one over here is only 71.9. So now we need to just warp to here. Oh, nice little warp to here function. Wasn't in this game when I first started playing it, and I'm glad they added it. Still, this equatorial orbit seems to be quite nice. We need to pick our launch of the second craft. We need to pick our timings with that. So we need to go prograde to push this periapse out. Can I select it without selecting a maneuver? There we go. So we've got 72 at the minute. Let's just gently push that out. Tiny bit more. 75, 75. They're within about 600 of each other. That's close enough. Right. Also, our craft is starting to come round over to our launch site, which is more or less when we want to be launching our second craft. So let's warp to here. Just bring it forward a little bit. Okay. Let's go back down to Kerbal and launch our second craft. So this is the one we're flying right now that's going on the bigger orbit, and this is the one we need, no, hang on a minute. And this is the one we need to let catch up. And as you can see, we've got an intersect here of a 1 kilometer separation. I think that's going to be fantastic. The only problem is that when we get round here, we're going to have to null out velocity. So you should be able to see, as I fast forward ourselves around the planet, our first satellite takes the outer track. There we go. The second satellite takes the inner track, and because the inner track is a shorter distance, it will slowly catch up with our first satellite, and as they come round towards the other side, here they are. Sat 1 is catching up with the Sat 2, and they should merge very, very closely together. Will they crash? I don't think so. The chances of that are very, very small. We're going to slow things down right about now, and we're going to switch in close. Here we go. So you can actually see the Mark 1 over there. That's the first one we launched. We're just going to go over towards it a little bit. So let's enable our SAS, and I think, yeah, we're in target mode. So I think, does that bring us towards target? Yes. Right, so I want to get rid of our velocity relative to the target. So let's go retrograde on our velocity relative to the target. Oh, no, went the wrong way. Bit more. We ain't got long to do this. We need to correct this quickly. Here we are. Now we're within visual range, so we just need to get this velocity here down to 0, and it should complete the contract. And it's very close to us. 20, 19, 18. Let's just very close. And for this last bit, I'm going to limit the thrust on that engine, just so that we don't overshoot. And God, this is very difficult to get it perfect. That is 0.2 meters. As you can see, 0. Apparently it is now 0. We are now in a complete synchrony. Now, did we do it? What we got here? Contract complete. Rendezvous. We did it. That's 30,000. It probably cost us more than that to do this, to be honest. Let's delete that contract. World first milestone though. Rendezvous maneuver around Kerbal. We get a bonus. Fantastic. So our money probably actually is about the same as we started. However, we now have 2 items in orbit of Kerbal. Let's switch over to the first rocket. Here's the first rocket. It's got loads of fuel in it. And what we did is we brought up these science modules. So we can do a pressure data. Here we are, look. Pressure scan from space near Kerbal. Now we're not going to be able to... Oh my goodness. I can't retrieve it. There's no parachutes on these. Damn. And I can't transmit. Damn. Oh, flip. Well, we can do the science, but we can't actually get it back to Kerbin. So that's absolutely terrible. What we'll probably have to do is we'll probably have to send up another craft with a Kerbal on board and come and collect the science data. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Never mind. Maybe... Why do I forget these things? Alright, well, join me next time where I will not be in a pile of despair on the floor, where we will do something with these science vessels. I have no idea what we're going to be able to do with them. Yes, we're going to get a Kerbal up here. We need to do an EVA with a Kerbal anyway. And what we'll do is we'll get him to meet up with one of these, and we'll get him to take the data from them. Yes, that's what we'll do. Join me next time, see if I'm able to do that in the next missions. That's all from me for now. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.